and I've been saying for many, many years now, the trans issue is what will break intersectionality. It's what will break this progressive delusion. It's what will break everything, because once people can see with their own eyes what this ideology leads to, when they see children being mutilated, when they see adults abdicating all responsibility, including in a medical setting, then that would inevitably lead to a strong backlash, which we have now seen in this country. So I think that's a tremendous step forward, much more work to do, of course. And it reflects a broader public sentiment, I think, the voice of sanity, people like Helen Joyce and J.K. Rowling and all sorts of others are finally being heard. That's true in the UK and many other European countries, actually. It is less true in the United States for reasons that we can all... Well, there are many reasons, but the most obvious one, of course, is I think you and I both are great admirers of capitalism, but capitalism without any moral framework becomes a whole different entity. And so if there's money to be made from trans surgery, then which there is in the United States in a way that there isn't in this country, you will always find people who, for ideological and profit reasons, will continue to do it. And I know, this is anecdotal, but having spoken to people who are surgeons, that, you know, if you or I needed some sort of heart surgery, the amount of money the surgeon earns is quite minimal, actually, a few $1,000s at most. With trans surgery, it's a highly profitable operation. And so... That is I'm sure what you're saying is right, but it's as sick-making as the idea that people will make money out of killing other people through drugs dependency. Sick-making, true, but also, historically speaking, we know that that is exactly how human beings behave when the incentive structure is wrong. Should cause us to ask deep questions about the dual personalities that we all, to some degree, have to confront. Well, of course. We can be noble, but we can be scum. Every one of us. And this is one of the things that I learned from spending 3 weeks on tour with Jordan. Is one of the things that he talks about is, I never really understood this, John, and I think it's very difficult to understand it. When he talks about how we're all capable of the greatest evils in human history. We would have all joined the Hit the Youth, one of his lines. You can sort of, you go, most people in Germany did, so I'm guessing but you don't understand the why. And I really understood the why when I was in Jordan, which is, it's all about the choices you make. And every time, his whole concept really, I think, is every time you do something you know to be immoral, when you violate your own conscience, when you lie, when you cheat, when you steal, when you do whatever it is. And I don't mean in these grandiose things. When I say when you lie, I don't mean you lie to deceive the government of hundreds of thousands of pounds of taxes that you owe. I mean a little white lie. And then before you know it, the next lie you tell is slightly less white. And before you know it, the next one is even slightly less, and so on. When you consistently act in ways that are wrong, you become a sort of person who does wrong things. And eventually, without necessarily meaning to, you find yourself in a place that you never would have imagined yourself being in. And I've had that experience in my life. You know, over the last few years, I found, obviously I've had tremendous opportunity. But for example, when I was in Australia, I had not been exercising or eating as well as I should have been for months, and I felt myself putting on weight, and it started to bleed through into all sorts of other areas of my life. I was not behaving correctly with my family. I was not behaving correctly. When you slip in one area, it affects everything else. So incentive structures, which incentivize people to only pursue their own self-interest, irrespective of the moral dimension of it, will make normal people into terrible people. And I think that's one of the reasons that in America this issue is different, and they haven't addressed it in quite the same way. But yes, I think that what is happening in the UK on that issue is very good. As you say, we now have a new government, and we wait with bated breath to see what they do about that issue, because obviously, ideologically, Keir Starmer said recently, I think, that Tony Blair has educated him about biology, so that's a relief. Of course, what that really means is Keir Starmer was a coward who didn't want to tell the truth about the trans issue. Well, that's why he mumbled and stumbled when he was asked what a woman is. because he knows that within his party there are enough people with the delusion that, that is a contested issue, which obviously it's not. So how much of a coward he remains is what we wait and see.